Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the hahang podcast. And today I have with me my friend. But before that, cue the intro. Yeah, okay.
Can
So
you introduce me as Sarah?
I mean, anything. Okay, can you introduce yourself?
Okay.
Who you, what you do?
Wait, are we is this part of it already?
Yeah, it's part of it already.
Oops. Okay. Shucks, I should have done this properly. Okay. Hi. Yeah, I'm Sarah. So
Shit, wrong one. Eh.
we can edit this part off, right?
No, I gotta put it inside.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh. Okay. So I obviously didn't plan, but yeah, I'm Pia's friend from Aero days back then. Yeah, and currently I am in SMU finishing up my degree in business management and also a full-time financial consultant.
Hmm.
Yes. So I've been working and studying like most of my life since I think poly year 2. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of part-time jobs, but then I finally settled on this one. Yeah, and then turning it into a full-time career.
Yeah.
Mm.
So the topic of today, right, is to talk about living independently. Yeah, because Carlin, you want to share more about your own experiences with living independently?
Yes, okay. So like some context, right? Like I'm currently renting a room in like a home in Fernville or like Sengkang, and it's like the most beautiful place. Yeah. So how that happened is that I think partly also because of my family background. So like for most of my life, I've been moving in and out different houses because of like family conflicts and everything. Yeah, so I just followed my caretaker, who is my grandma lah, basically. Then for the past 6 years or so, I was staying with my aunt, all the way in a rented condominium with her family, like her daughters, and then so there was like multiple reasons, but one of the reasons why I was asked to move out was also because the landlord of the condo we were in wanted to sell the house. So like my grandma and I were told to move out first. And okay, a bit more context is also that I didn't really have like a good relationship with my dad. So like from young, I think like I was just hurt by a lot of things that he did and he said or that he didn't do. Yeah, and I feel that like it takes a lot of grace for me to even like talk to him or communicate with him lah. Yeah, so I know for sure that I did not want to go back to my dad's place if I had to move out of my aunt's place. Yeah, but other than that, there was nowhere I could go at that time when I was told, and also the timeline that I had was very short. Yeah, so I was kind of like stressed, but I was also like, there's no way I'm gonna go back to my dad's place for sure. Yeah, cause I wasn't going to be treated very well also by my stepmom. Yeah, and I would have to share the room with my grandma. And as much as I love her, right, for the past like 24 years of my life, like I'm 25 now, but for the past 24 years of my life, like I've been sharing the room with her and I've been sharing the bed with her. And surprisingly, this is not as rare a thing that I thought it was because I heard like people sharing about it. But during COVID especially, like there was little room to breathe, there was no privacy. And because I'm also like the only like Christian in my family, right? So there's like differences in faith. So example, if I feel down or what, I can't cry because I'll just be told not to cry, you know, they'll just be like, oh, don't cry. Why are you crying? Yeah, but there will be no one to like support me or encourage me in a way that will make me feel like loved and supported. Yeah, so a lot of times I felt that whatever I was going through, right, especially when at the start of uni, when a lot of things were very hard for me, I couldn't like be real with like my family or like my grandma. Yeah, then I just yeah, so I felt like that was one reason why I didn't want to stay in my dad's place and share the same bed and room again. Also kind of very light sleeper lah. Yeah, so my grandma snores and she doesn't want an aircon. Yeah, but these are very small things that I can live with. Then the other main reason, which I think was more important, was also I realized that I needed to grow. Yeah, because I feel that the state of my family, right, there was no way that I could help them, right, unless I had a space to grow and then like be strong first. Yeah, so if I had stayed in my dad's place, I was gonna be like super like stressed all the time. I was not gonna be able to focus on either work or studies, and I just felt like I wouldn't have the mentorship or the kind of environment that I needed to grow and be strong for my family. So as controversial as it seems, right, I decided that okay, I need to step out. Yeah, even though it was so scary, and at the time I also, cause I was like financially supporting myself, like independent, right, since poly days, but I didn't develop good habits Because like sometimes we are so deprived of like living that normal life. So we tend to I tend to spend a lot more. Like I just want to live a normal life, go cafe with my friends, enjoy, life and all that kind of thing, be a normal person. So I didn't really like save up much lah. So at the time that I needed to get a house, right, to rent, just FYI, if you want to rent a house, you need to get like 1 month of rent as well as 1 month deposit. So if your rent is 700, you're paying 1.4k upfront first.
Okay.
Yeah, so me with very little savings, right, couldn't.
Yeah.
But I think by God's grace, like God really helped me pull all the timelines to align with each other. Yeah, so it was kind of funny because like okay, I know this is not really like a Christian podcast lah, but actually I really believe God had a part to play in this whole journey.
Yeah, just go ahead and share.
Yeah, so I think one worry that I had, right, was that I could only afford a place, right? Like whatever I had in my hands, right, only deserve a place that was super like rundown, like super like like questionable and like It's like, what's the point? I was just like, I think staying in Changi Airport will be better kind of thing. Yeah, so but thank God for my friend Chiket, if you all know him.
Yeah.
Who prayed like, your next place will be an upgrade, not a downgrade.
Okay.
And I really just held on to that prayer. And I was very specific with like my checklist of things that I wanted to see in my house. So like I have a very specific kind of dream house aesthetic, which is like the dark industrial kind of thing.
Which is actually what your house looks like now lah.
Exactly. Yeah. And the rent has to be a certain range.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember like I wrote down all the things that I wanted to see in my house, right? And I just like prayed. Yeah, and there were so many moments where like I didn't even visit that many houses when I was choosing what house I wanted to stay in. Yeah, but somehow like I was led to the right listings.
Okay.
And also I didn't know, okay, so for those of y'all who are looking to rent a place or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You can check out like Facebook Marketplace and Carousel. So I didn't even know that people like listed rentals there. Yeah, then so it was really because I only took one person like in my their leadership like friend group, right?
Yeah.
Then she told someone else who I wasn't even close to.
Yeah.
And then she texted me like, hey, I heard you were looking for a place to stay. You can check out this. That's like,
oh,
I didn't even know that.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I checked it out, right? And then on Carousel, I found like this super nice house. And it wasn't even ready yet, by the way. It was like newly renovated and they only put out the concept pictures. So it's really like go by faith.
Yeah.
And then like, it was like the most popular house on Carousel. So they had every right to like choose whoever was willing to pay the highest price, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even back then, like, I remember when I first saw the listing, right, it was still like quite low, like 700 lah.
Okay.
Yeah, then by the time I went back again to the listing, it was like 800 already.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And there's like 200 overlights kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I really, really wanted that. I saw that, I was like, that's the one. You know, like choosing a life partner. Then it's like out of everyone that you see, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, then I just felt like this is the house that I want. So I just like declare that this is gonna be mine, you know, like I'm gonna have favor in the homeowner's eyes. Even if I can't afford it, somehow like God will make a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's so funny because even when I was going there, like to view the house in actuality, it was like 50% renovated.
Okay.
So like the toilet bowl wasn't even installed. My bed was like barren.
Yeah.
My bedroom was barren. Like literally nothing was there. And I was like, I see it. Yeah, but I just felt like in my heart that this will be a house that I will have joy in.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just continued to like pray about it, and then I gave God like all the things that I wanted to pray for. Okay. Yeah, so right, some things that I actually wrote down.
I don't know whether you can see lah.
Yeah, I also don't think can see lah.
You just screenshot send me, then I'll just put it in the video. Like I'll just superimpose it there or something.
Okay, can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, back then also I was like having this little baking business thing.
Yeah.
So I had like very specific requirements, like preferably a house with an oven.
Yeah.
Then because I love aircon, right? So preferably a house that allow me to use aircon anytime.
Yeah.
Because if you rent some places, then you have a cat. You have to pay extra and you see the cat.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I would also like to have visitors, so I can have my dad use like come over.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like my
basically where you're like serving volunteering at lah.
Yeah, and my friends also.
Yeah, okay.
If they want to come and chill or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, then can cook also, preferably. Although I seldom cook, but you know.
It's always good to have that option, is it?
Yeah, and my room shall be beautiful. I wrote this down like literally.
Okay.
My room shall be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the thing is that because of COVID, right, the timeline for renovation stretched.
Yeah.
So it wasn't ready, or like I couldn't move in at the time that they wanted me to move in. I had to move in 1 month later.
Okay.
And then by God's grace also, like my aunt like let me stay for 1 more month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had that 1 month to farm enough money through part-time work, right? Like I was a baristering in a cafe.
Yeah.
In my friend's cafe, by the way. Also like like I feel like okay, also like it was by chance lah, by God's chance lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then then I just had enough in time to pay that first month's rent.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's so scary because like I know I might not have enough to pay the rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this house was so popular, right? So like when the homeowner like contacted me to ask if I was still interested, I actually sent them like this super duper long text, right, on what I love about the house. I was like, oh my gosh, your house is my dream aesthetic. I'm so sorry, but actually I can't afford it and I don't want to face the situation like I'll try to pay my rent, but I might not have enough to eat. Like I literally told them that, you know, like yeah, okay, I'll probably send Pierre like this.
So I just superimpose it here somewhere.
Yeah.
It look okay. Yeah. Then.
Okay, because I'm very like straightforward and
Yeah.
yeah. So I said all of those things. Then I was like, they're surely not going to give me the house now. I'm like, I'm not just like broke. I'm like weird now. You know what I mean? Like, why would someone tell you that? Then after that, they gave me a call.
Yeah.
Then after that, they were like, oh, actually, then the funny thing is that he was looking for some like telemarketers for his team. So it's like, oh, actually, right, we can't lower the rent because it's already
fixed.
It's already kind of below the market rate.
Oh, okay.
Which I already know also lah. So it's reasonable.
Yeah. Okay.
And then after that, they let me have the telemarketing job in case I can't pay the rent.
Oh.
Because I told them that I can try to pay the rent, but I might not have enough to eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So back then I was interning at PwC. And
yeah.
Not sure whether I can say this, yeah.
I mean, sure.
Like back then I was in a consulting internship that paid peanuts.
Okay lah, but internships usually don't pay very well lah.
Except Amazon.
Except a lot of other places other than certain industries. I think it depends on industry.
Okay.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah, then.
Yeah, so it barely covered like the rent lah. Then yeah, but somehow like TLDR, somehow everything has been provided for, and it's been like slightly more than a year since I moved in, and somehow I've been staying here, and my room is beautiful. Okay, like I will just send Pierre some pictures. I guess I always flex it on Instagram because I love it, and like 1 year later, right, I'm still in love with and like so thankful for this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, right, my homeowners are so fun. Like they're young and hip, so like they're 32 and 30 this year.
Okay.
And they're like the coolest, funnest people ever. Like they have so many games. There's like drinks at home. They like let us join their parties and stuff sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, so we are like really friends. It's like living with friends. But at the same time, they are like older enough to like give us advice when we need to, or like some kind of encouragement when we want, like when we ask for it.
So do you like go to them for advice?
Sometimes it's like if I very like, I think it depends.
Okay, on
so
what?
Like example, maybe like relationship things, right?
Yeah.
Then like example, I messed up. Then yesterday I told like my homeowner, I messed up. Then now like things are like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Then after that he was like, it's okay. Like then he just shared with me like his perspective and all that kind of thing. Then also like a request that I didn't write down, right? But I think like God knew my heart.
Yeah.
Because to me I can live with anyone. Like I'm very like, I just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think God knows deep in my heart that I also wanted to live in a place where like there will be like it's like like to live with Christians in a sense lah.
People of the same faith lah.
Yeah, because to me it's not about religion, right? But it's just the way that, you know, if I feel down or what, at least like they can pray for me and I feel encouraged and loved.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my homeowner. My homeowner was Christian.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So then he just like prayed like, yeah. Then I felt like, okay, like, at least there's someone I can talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like previously at home I would never be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was like no judgment at home also lah. Yeah. So honestly I'm really thankful. And I see like my homeowners as like my parents.
Your very young parents.
Yeah, my very fun young parents. Yeah, and they always like switch things up at home. So like every month is like a different theme.
Wait, what do you mean by switch things up?
Like they will change the house layout, or they have like new plants or new decor. Like yesterday they switched the spotlight's direction. Then the house became like brighter.
Okay.
And then they're so cute, you know, like the day they were in a car park, right? Then they saw a lizard. Then they just randomly catch and bring home.
So
then we all like...
So the lizard
Like
is
lizard.
at home or is it in a box at home?
It's held hostage
In a
with
like...
us.
No, as in, is it free to roam or is it in a box?
Oh, it's in a box.
Oh.
And it's living like a kingly life, being fed worms every day. It has a nice rock to pee on.
Okay, but anyway, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so guess what are the challenges that you faced? Wow, what are the considerations you had before saying like, okay, I will definitely live by myself? And what are the challenges you faced along the way?
I think definitely, right? This might not be a familiar term to everyone, right? But I think condemnation is then real lah. So basically that feeling that you are doing something wrong.
Yeah.
When it might not necessarily be. And I remember like the last time I made such a huge decision by faith, right? Like just plunged, like just full into the deep kind of thing, right? Was when I wanted to leave JC to go into poly.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's how I know her. Because she was technically my senior.
Yeah, so like I was in Yishun JC last time. He was in Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were in the same group.
Both shut down, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thanks for the memories. Kidding. Yeah, so I grew up in an environment, or like my secondary school was damn zai lah. So all my good friends all go like VJ, MJ, and like just pretty good JCs in the East. And then there was this loser who played Monopoly Deal every single hour and minute of her life, right? In secondary school and screwed up all her O levels.
Okay.
So I didn't do as well as I wanted to.
Yeah.
And then I thought like that was the end of it. Yeah, but then really thank God, because even my 1 year in JC wasn't wasted. I had so much fun. I made such awesome friends. And it changed my perspective about what success in life can look like.
Okay.
And sometimes we grow up thinking that there's only one path that we need to follow, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes we just need the right environment, or we just need to know and explore, give ourselves the chance to explore like what we are good at, what we like, and what we enjoy. So I remember when I don't stay with my mom, like she doesn't take care of me, but I remember like even when I just told her casually that I was going to transfer to poly, right? She just like lost it. Then I was like, why? Yeah, but anyway, TLDR, right? Poly was like the best decision of my life, man. Like the whole huge step of faith of leaving, because I went J2. It wasn't like I couldn't go J2 or anything, and then like it was easier for me to leave, right? But I already like halfway through J2, right? And then like YOLO, I'm out.
Wait, it was halfway through J2 meh?
Okay, like at the start of J2.
I thought you decided at the start of J2 already.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still had to go through the J2 process until I like officially
Yeah.
in
Okay.
poly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, YOLO. And then like I thrived in poly, like by God's grace. And also because I feel that it was the right environment and the right interests that aligned with what my innate strengths were.
Yeah.
So I feel that random side note, if you think that you're lost or like you think that you're not thriving where you are, just go and explore. Cause like honestly, you just have some strengths that you haven't known how to like tap on yet. Yeah. So no harm in just taking the road less traveled.
That's true.
Yeah. So I thought back about that, right? Then I was like, okay, you know what? That was so scary at that moment. Everyone thought I was gonna like GG already. And then I thought I was gonna like, there's no chance I can go like into like the nice big corporate world that I used to dream of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then but in the end everything worked out for good. So I knew that this was a step I could take as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know that even though my family might think I'm abandoning them, or like they might talk bad about me, because they used to like okay, I'm just very different from my family lah, basically. Yeah. So like they don't really like love me that way.
Okay.
Yeah, but so it gives them more things to say, right? But I just felt like this is a step I wanted to take.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that ultimately it's also for the good of everyone. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I lost the question.
Okay, so these were the considerations you had before like choosing to live on your own, right?
Yeah.
So then what are some of the challenges that you faced? So just now you briefly talked about when you had to pay the first rent, you were worried that you might not have enough, right? So after that, what were the other challenges that you faced along the way in the past 1 year?
Okay. Honestly, right, it's really quite stressful. Like until now also, like there are moments where I still worry about whether or not I can pay rent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's always up and down. Plus like cause I'm a financial consultant, right? I'm not like in a proper job giving me a fixed salary every month kind of thing. So like my whatever I earn also fluctuates.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think really like I'm very thankful because somehow I managed to like come all the way here and I live like a normal life lah. Like I don't like go overseas often or what. Also like COVID lah. But I also not really going overseas this year. But I don't have to like, eat Cai Fan every day and then spend like only $3 a day kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that is a concern. So I feel that if you want to rent a place, right, you need to know like what is that kind of what's your risk tolerance in that sense. Yeah, because different people have like different.
Your risk appetite and risk tolerance lah.
Yeah, correct. Some people like they cannot deal with the uncertainty lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I low key like it lah.
You like living life on the edge, is it?
Yeah, like literally, yeah.
My gosh. Okay. So like,
Okay.
because you mentioned that there are days where you worry that rent is not enough, right? That you might not have enough for rent, right? So what gets you through those days? Or those moments where you start feeling afraid that, oh, I might not have enough for rent this month?
I think actually for me, like I'm quite a action oriented person, you can say.
Okay.
Like if you've done a like Clifton Strengths,
Sorry, what is the Clifton Strength?
or like okay, it's basically like a strengths finder test. So the theory behind it is that you have 34 strengths and you don't have any weaknesses. So it's just that your top 5 strengths are most apparent. Yeah.
What?
And
Okay.
then and in life, right, to thrive, you should maximize or build on your strengths and then leverage on other people who have strengths in the areas that you're not as strong in. Okay, but anyway, my first foremost strength, right, is called activator. So people who are familiar with this trait, right, knows that the activator trait is basically the cannot sit still. If there's a problem or what, I need to go and find a solution kind.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that even though there are moments where I fear not being able to pay my rent, right, I don't just like sit there and cry.
Yeah.
Like I do pray, but I don't just sit there and cry and pray.
I'm so sorry if you all hear the drilling.
Yeah.
But let's just continue.
Yeah. But I also actually try to look for work or try to look for a solution lah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think yeah, so that has helped. Yeah, so like you can always pick up a job easily. You can pick up like a random part-time job, a help job, that kind of thing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the next question is what have you learned from this like 1 year of living independently?
Okay. Yeah, so I was like gonna like continue when you asked this question.
Oh,
I was like,
sorry.
No, as in like it was going to be related to what I wanted to say.
Okay, nice.
So I think something that I learned, right, is don't live life on the edge. Like I low-key love the thrill, right? But it's really very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it taught me first of all to create a margin or a float. Yeah. And then it taught me to have better financial habits.
Yeah.
And then because you're humbled, right, that you can't spend in the same ways that you would if you weren't someone who would be homeless if you couldn't pay your rent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it also brought to awareness, like bad spending habits.
Yeah.
Like example, I'm very emotional. So once I'm emotional, right, I will like spend on like food.
Oh,
Like, I don't necessarily spend on clothes or all that.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the second point. But I will like buy like expensive drinks or whatever, right? Like
Coke Zero. Sorry, that's the most expensive drink I have.
really?
I don't drink bubble tea. I don't like bubble tea. I think it's a waste of money.
Exactly. Bubble tea is a waste of money.
But okay, continue.
But I love bubble tea.
So that's where the bulk of your expenses go.
Yeah, especially Koi Signature.
Hey, that thing is expensive.
That thing is expensive.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. So then I was like so that's really very bad. And then it brought to like oh, actually, like, why am I even doing this? It's so like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And there are better ways that I can de-stress or like relax or something like that.
Yeah.
Then it also taught me like, oh, I don't need to pay for a gym membership. I can just like do like work out in my room. That kind of thing. Yeah. Then it also taught me that because in those moments, right, when you're stressed, right, then you go like you swing 2 directions, right? You try to like spend very little, then you become like some like hermit or something like that. Then there was this month, right, that I tried to spend like I think $100 only for the whole month. That's like $3 a day.
No way that's possible.
Yeah, I it was so tough. It was hell. Then after that I went crazy a bit. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm out of this hole. Then I spent so much. Then I'm like, oh wait.
Yeah,
no.
okay.
Okay, so the point is that like I think it taught me that it's good to plan. Yeah. It's really like good to plan. Like I'm not just saying this because of my job, right? But legitimately it's a painful lesson lah. Like you need to know how to budget and stuff. Then you can enjoy in peace.
I think especially more so because you are living alone, you have your rent, which is your highest overhead lah, basically. Right?
Yeah, Correct. And it's not like I have a rich family to fall back on,
Correct.
like that kind of thing. Yeah, so that was one. Then the second thing is also that, I learned like not to hog.
What do you mean?
So because I know I can't stay here forever, but I'm like, and eventually I'm gonna have to rent a new place when the time comes.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to have so many things to bring around with you. It really forces you to like choose what are the most precious things to you. Yeah, then also like clothes or that. Like if you see me, right, I rotate my outfit. Like it's always the same outfits every week or something like that.
Same.
Yeah.
It's just a Uniqlo shirt.
For guys lah.
Yeah.
Okay lah, H&M basics lah for me.
I don't wear anything else
So
but
it's the
Uniqlo shirts.
equivalent. Oh really? Yeah.
Like most of the time lah. If you look at all the past podcast videos, right, it's always the same few Uniqlo shirts.
Yeah, I mean that's a guy's thing. But then the girls will know that, sometimes you just need to.
Yeah lah, I know.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I realized that it's actually also easier to just have like a few outfits that you just rotate with. Yeah, then yeah, just painful lessons and yeah, with this regard to the renting.
So would you advise or what encouragement would you give to those who are thinking of like moving out of their homes also and to like live independently?
So I think it really depends on like what's your motivation. Cause I know there are a lot of people who want to live independently purely because they think it's like more fun. Yeah, but then if that's your reason, then you just gotta think about whether or not you're willing to take on that liability also. Yeah, and what would be like your safety nets or your exit plan if you weren't able to like keep up with that kind of like expenses. Yeah, then also because now rent is very expensive. Yeah, if I wanted to rent a place in the same standard of living, it's gonna be at least 850 and above. Yeah. Also like my rent has increased with time, by the way, just saying.
Yeah.
And it's only fair. So that's the market rate now. Yeah, and I think there are people who I also know like, there's another tenant that moved in recently to the house. So for her, she had similar reasons. Like her family wasn't a good like environment in a sense, and she wanted to grow. So she wanted to do like her own startup, and she also needed breathing space. Yeah, and sometimes like family voices, as much as you know that they love you, right? Like they can be quite negative also. Yeah, so it's not that I totally abandoned my family. Like I still call back and everything. I still visit them. Yeah, but I know that this place has allowed me to grow a lot more than I would have if I had stayed. Yeah, or if I had gone down the path that I was like kind of like told to go down. Yeah, so that definitely you need to think about what's your float, what's your inflow, and then what's your outflow in terms of like your money.
Cash.
Yeah, your cash. And then yeah, I can't really tell people who want to move not to move, right?
Yeah.
Because that's like ultimately your choice.
Yeah.
And different people have their own reasons. Yeah, so yeah lor. Yeah, but if like example you're close with your family but you still feel like you need more breathing space, then I think it's good to have at least a talk with the family first. So at least they know where you're coming from lah. It's not like, yeah. Yes. So like, is that the last question?
Technically is, but I got another question to ask. I just thought of it.
Okay.
It's more of like because normally I think it's not very common for, at least in Singapore context, for people to move out of their house so young, right? So what do you think that has done for you?
Oh wait, you just reminded me of something.
Oh great.
Okay, sorry, because I'm like overly optimistic when I'm excited.
Yeah.
And like this is damn fun. Okay, but anyway, do you accept if your audience like request to be part of your podcast or not?
Dude, I don't even I mean depends lah. I don't know lah. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, okay, but actually I remember when I moved out, right? It did feel super lonely. Yeah, like I was like really damn lonely because as much as I wasn't even close to my family, just being away from like the people that you've known your whole life, right? Or like you've been living with your whole life felt very different.
Yeah.
Oh, and also be prepared to do your own laundry and all that if you're not already doing that.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's something that you can be prepared for, and just make sure that you have like community around you, like wholesome, loving community that's there to like encourage you also. Yeah, cause yeah, it does get very lonely lah. Okay. Then I forgot the actual question.
What? Okay. Okay. The question is, or was, slash is what has being independent so early like taught you?
Okay. I want to think about this a bit.
You can move the mic closer to your.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm very shy. Low-key. Low-key, I'm quite shy.
Okay, why are you whispering?
Because it was a low-key thought.
Okay, now it's a quiet thought.
Okay, so what has it taught me?
Yeah.
Okay, I think there was this mindset that I had before I moved out, right? Where I always went with the flow in my life. So I always believed that things happen for a reason, and they do. And I always believed that I can only take the path that is handed to me. So
Okay.
basically I never had ownership of my life.
Okay.
Yeah, that was how I was brought up also. Like wherever my grandma go, I will just follow also.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the biggest lesson or mindset shift that this whole living independently taught me, right, is that like you have ownership over your life. Yeah, and you know, if you have like friends or like, you know, people around you who are respectable who can guide you, then it's even better. And
Yeah.
if you have God, then you have the Holy Spirit that's there to like guide you also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it taught me that sometimes we like it's actually okay to make mistakes and to make big decisions that might be very scary or like might end up in failure, right? Because eventually like God is really with you like wherever you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's something that I learned. Like I learned to make very, very big decisions. Yeah, and take risks also. Yeah, but I feel like that's also like what makes life meaningful. Because what's the worst that can happen? You fail, then you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then, oh yeah, and then recent podcast was about failure, right?
My recent podcast
I don't know, the one that you posted recently.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a different segment of the YouTube video.
Oh.
But yeah, talk about failures also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just that you have a say over your life. Yeah, and sometimes when we don't realize it, then we end up just letting like other voices and all that kind of thing take control of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily good I feel. Yeah, like you know, especially when we are mature. Like I'm really like 25 this year, right? So
Yeah.
just try to like just explore like life is meant to be enjoyed. I feel yeah.
Enjoy responsibly lah.
Yeah, responsibly.
Okay.
Responsibly. That's the word I was looking for. I was like, how do I say enjoy? But like not, wilding
not go
and
ham.
wasting and yeah.
Okay. Do you
Yeah.
have any parting words you want to say?
I think that was my parting words.
Nice. Okay. With
YOLO, responsibly.
That's YOLO.
YOLO.
Because YOLO responsibly. So you only live once responsibly.
That's such a boomer.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, guys, thanks for tuning to this episode. We've come to the end of today's episode. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.